How's it going, everybody? Welcome into my MLB The Show 18 franchise mode with the Chicago White Sox. Hey! Episode number 1! I'm so excited to be getting back doing this year. If you guys don't know, I am a huge Chicago White Sox fan, and I have been for a long time, since 2004, actually, so I have a long history of following this team. I've written about the Chicago White Sox for various different platforms and outlets online. I spent some time with Fansided and the Sports Illustrated family. I'm currently with theloopsports.com, covering the Chicago White Sox and doing podcasts and digital media stuff for them, so that's very exciting. Oh, excuse me. That came out of nowhere. If you haven't noticed, there's no in-game audio for this game, and I believe that's because I was streaming this game. So the audio went to my headphones and wasn't captured by the Elgato capture card, so not really sure why that happened, but whatever. No big deal. It's not going to happen after... Okay, that's a lie. In the second episode, there's also no audio. So from the third game on, there will be in-game audio. But for now, I'm just going to use this sick lo-fi hip-hop beat that I use for, like, everything else. So the Chicago White Sox, 2018. Yes, 2018 is going to be a really interesting season for the Chicago White Sox. Been talking to a lot of friends of mine who are White Sox fans and baseball fans in general, and the consensus of opinion seems to be that there is no real worst case scenario for the White Sox in 2018. This is a very safe season for them. Really the only, by the way, check out this play. He was so close. He almost had it. Almost there, Avi. The worst thing that could happen to the White Sox this year would be any kind of major injury for either a starter or a prospect down on the minor league system. So barring anything like that happening, this season will really just be a success from start to finish. We already saw the bats break out against the Royals in game 1, both in this fake game, in this video game. This isn't real baseball. This doesn't count. Give it some time. I know it's 1-0 Royals in the game right now, but a little bit later on, you're going to see some good hitting from the White Sox. But, I mean, you saw Matt Davidson hit 3 home runs in opening day for the White Sox. You saw Tim Anderson hit 2 home runs. Jose Abreu hit a home run. Yoan Moncada is already doing really well out of the leadoff spot. So things are really looking up for the White Sox. And then, of course, you have all the prospects down in the minors. You got Kopech, Jimenez, Robert, Dylan Cease, Jake Berger, even though he's injured, but the future is very bright for the White Sox, and I'm really excited to be doing this franchise mode with them in MLB The Show 18. So what's going to happen with this series is I'm gonna post a game per day. That's what I promise on the landing page of my channel. So it's going to be a game per day of the White Sox all the way through the end of the baseball season. Obviously, the real White Sox are a couple games ahead. I wanted to post every game day. I would post this like accompanying MLB The Show video, but I think it's okay to have the real team be a couple games ahead because that makes it a little bit more interesting. We can kind of get a feel for what's going on with the real team and then see what I can do in this franchise mode. I will be making trades and drafting, obviously, and not going to do anything too crazy. I'm going to keep it as realistic as I can. Not going to be trading for Mike Trout or anything like that unless the right deal comes along, but I highly doubt that will happen. So yeah, here we are in the action. It's the top of the 6th inning. Got Yoan Moncada at the plate. He crushes that into right center field. It gets all the way to the wall. That'll be a triple for Yoan Moncada. I'm really excited to see him develop further this season. I am very high on Yoan Moncada, as everybody should be. He's a very impressive young player at the plate and in the field. So getting to watch him develop will be really cool. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day. Was I bummed that the White Sox traded Chris Sale to Boston? Of course I was. Was I bummed that the White Sox traded Adam Eaton to Washington? Of course I was. Was I bummed that the White Sox traded Jose Quintana to the Cubs? Of course I was. But all of that is okay when you're looking at the prospects that the White Sox received in return, or returned and receive. If that makes sense to you, then I'll say it that way. But But yeah, it's hard not to be excited for all these players that the White Sox have, both at the major league level and down in the minors. The next couple years are going to be really special if the White Sox can develop these players properly, call them up at the right time, and if everybody gels together, then I'm not going to say the White Sox will sneak into a wild card spot this season, but I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. After the start that they've gotten off to this year, they're 2-1 so far. Yeah, look at Danny Duffy here, tipping his cap. It's 2-1. After 7 innings on opening day. Like, just put your hat back on your head and sit down, Duffy. But yeah, I mean, the White Sox are going to be so much fun to watch this year, and I can't wait to talk about them in these episodes and on the podcast and other stuff that I'm going to be doing on this channel. So here's Avi Garcia. The game is tied 2-2 now in the top of the 7th. Avi beats out an infield grounder to put the White Sox up 3-2 here. So the White Sox take the lead for the first time in the game. Lucas Duda was absolutely killing me in this game and in the next game. So I think there's something about MLB The Show that doesn't want me to get Lucas Duda out. I don't know if it was anything that I did or said, but if it was, then I really apologize, and I hope that we can work it out, and maybe I can have Lucas Duda sit on the bench more than he rounds the bases. That would be really nice if something like that could work out. Joakim Soria and the rest of this White Sox bullpen actually really excites me. One of my favorite trades that the White Sox made in the offseason was the trade that brought in Soria and Luis Avilan from the Dodgers. Avilan is an amazing bullpen pitcher. I can't believe that the White Sox have somebody of his talent on the team. I got to watch him in spring training, and I was blown away by the command he has of his off-speed stuff, and his fastball velocity really helps with that as well. But his curveball really caught me off guard because I honestly didn't know too much about Avilan, and I had read in a couple of reviews of the trade that he's going to be the one that catches people by surprise, and everybody that wrote that is exactly right. When I saw Avilan come in the game in spring training, I was really excited because like I said, I didn't know much about him, and then I was sitting behind home plate, and I got to watch his curveball as he was warming up and as he was pitching to the batters, and it was just, I was blown away. I can't wait to see how he does in the regular season. Obviously, how players do in spring training is no indication of what will happen in the regular season, so I try not to judge players based on how they do in spring training, whether it's positively or negatively. But just going off of the stuff that I saw from Avilan, I'm really excited to use him in this series and to watch him pitch for the White Sox in real life. So, yeah, that's amazing. And then you got this guy, Jose Abreu. What can you say about Jose Abreu? He's gone 30 home runs, 100 runs batted in each of his major league seasons so far, which I believe ties Albert Pujols for that record, or something about Abreu and Albert Pujols sharing something. Okay, I wish I could be more specific about that, but I really can't because I don't remember off the top of my head. Speaking of Luis Avilan, here he is pitching in the bottom of the 9th inning. White Sox are up 8-2. Lucas Duda, there he is, getting a hit yet again. You'll see that a lot more in the next game. Spoiler alert, not to spoil anything, but Lucas Duda is kind of a good hitter. Here's Jorge Soler grounding out to Tim Anderson for the second out of the inning. And then this is, I think that was Chesler Cuthbert with a grounder into left field. Could have been a play at the plate if Wellington Castillo hadn't bobbled it. But he did, and the run scored, and I went on to strike out Alex Gordon on 3 pitches, finishing off with that beautiful curveball. So the White Sox take game 1. Opening day is a victory. I even got a trophy, flawless victory. I didn't look at that trophy. I don't know what that does. I don't know what the requirements are to earn that trophy. I know what a trophy does. Okay, it does nothing. You don't get anything special for a trophy. You just get a little thing in your. I'm going to stop talking about trophies. Okay, I sound really stupid. Hey, this is a tradition. Welcome. Hi. If you've never watched Digital Chalk Lines before, when I do White Sox franchise videos, I like to talk after the video. So even though you're looking at a black screen right now, I'm still talking. So this is usually the part of the show where, or the part of the episode, whatever you want to call it, where I would be done talking about what happened in the game, and then I will start talking about something else. So let's see, what do I have in my room that I could talk about? What's around here? I have I have this bag of licorice pastels. I don't know if you can hear those. They're like Good and Plenty's, but they're a lot better. As far as I know, you can only get the good ones at Menards, which is like a hardware store, an appliance store here in the Midwest. So yeah, if you ever visit, I highly recommend getting these because they are delicious.